So Charlie's got the Falcon back on the road. He got it re-registered and sorted. Most of the problem's fixed. The only problem we're having now is with quite a big oil leak, quite a puddle on the driveway. Where's it coming from? It seems to be coming from the front of the engine. We're going to have a go at replacing the O-rings on the cam chain tensioner, which is hiding behind these brackets here. There's a couple of O-rings there that fail. We'll replace those and see if that sorts the oil leak. First we'll take that intake duct out. So we take these two radiator brackets out.
Found out those fit perfectly.
Perfect. Now we'll try and take the fans out. Is it a 10 mil, is it?
Yep.
So there should be some electrics going to that fan. Remove the electrical connector to the fan. Then hopefully that whole fan and shroud will come out. See if it comes straight up, Charlie.
Stuck on something here.
Takes a little bit of wriggling, but if you can push this side past the oil cooler pipe and then lift the other end, go for it, Charlie. And now we have lots more room. Okay, so now we'll take the tension off that fan so we can remove it. 3/8 on the tensioner and pull it clockwise. There we go. Okay.
Easy peasy.
Move the power steering pump out of the way. We don't need to disconnect the lines. Go through the pulley to access the 3 bolts on this side. 1, 2, and there's a third one down there. And go to the back side, and there's a nut. 13 millimeters.
Perfect.
That's out of the way. Then we've got plenty of access. So this bracket needs to come off and that bracket needs to come off. So there's 4 bolts holding this one on. This one has 3 on the front and another one in here. That's a 13, the big one, is it?
Yep, 13.
13 and a 10.
An extension.
Long 10 millimeter is that
Front one.
So there's lots of different lengths and sizes of bolts. Keep them organized. We've got the 2 different sizes that hold the power steering pump itself. 2 different lengths that hold this large bracket to the head, and then different sizes holding the steel bracket. Oh, we got one more
This
here.
one, oh my goodness.
And one more going in from the side. There it is, that one's out.
Yes. There's no doubt that is what's leaking.
This is our culprit right here. And oil runs this way and that way and down and just makes a big mess. And first we'll clean all of that up. We don't want any of that dirt and crap getting into the motor. So give that a good clean. Okay, that's all cleaned up now. Need to undo this center plug while holding the outer pipe still. And we use those 2 holes there to hold this still while we undo the center pipe. So this is the tool off my angle grinder. It has these 2 pins. Unfortunately, they're not quite the right offset for this. So what I did is drilled another hole here that's closer. Of course it'll work to hold it. Okay, we'll try that again with the 14.
Ouch.
So now we need to lock the tensioner inside. This is a 3 millimeter hex. That hole in the tensioner. Here it is. and half a turn. Okay, so push it in and half a turn, it's locked. Problem with the normal 3mm hex is it'll slide into the tensioner, okay, but it'll keep going, right? So you can't put any force on it to compress the spring. So one option is to slide some tubing over there, cut it off here, and then you've got something to push on. Otherwise, Torque's bit might do the trick because it's got the short end on it, T15 or T20 or something type of hex, which has got a machined tip on it. So that slides up to here and stops. Use that edge there to push on the tensioner to engage or disengage it. Now we can remove that. So that's the pipe side. So with the no good O-ring there, it's leaking out of here. Runs along here. Some of it's potentially even heading down this side, even wick up across and run along here. You can see those puddles of oil down the bottom there. Before panicking about your head gasket or timing chain cover, have a go at replacing chain tensioner O-rings. Last day of February, excuse the cicadas singing in the background. Right, so we've got the cam chain tensioner plug, let's call it that, and we need to change these O-rings. I think this is our main offender, this one. Also, this one is completely flattened. So we'll go through changing those. I've already worked out the sizes. If you look at the description below, you'll see those O-ring sizes all spelled out for you. That's my best guess at what the correct O-ring size is. I'll leave a comment if we get any subsequent leaks. All right, let's take those off, Charlie. So it hasn't stretched at all, it's just broken, snapped in two. Remove any dirt. It's possible the original seal was a weird shape, but I'm guessing it was an O-ring and it's just been squashed into the shape of the surface against which it's sealing. So we're going to go in with a 22 by 2.5. So rather than roll them on, if you can stretch it evenly without twisting it, then it should last longer. Okay, and the smaller one on the outside of the pipe, I'm using an 18 by 1.8. That's 18 inside diameter. So we've got a couple of O-rings inside. This one doesn't seem to get too deformed. I think it's just there as a cushion rather than a seal. Rock hard, just hasn't been deformed. So this one is a 8 by 2.5. Oh, there's a filter inside of here that we need to remove. So see if you can push it out from that end, Charlie. This filter is plastic, so be careful if you break it. I haven't actually found anywhere to buy these new to replace them. How's that look? Is there much crap on there?
Yeah, that's not terrible.
2 O-rings on there.
The best bet to get all of these off is just to break them.
Definitely, yeah. Break them into pieces. This little filter assembly uses 10 by 1.8. What I'll do, I'll give you a range of sizes that might work. There's a certain amount of stretch that you can tolerate, like a 1 to 5% stretch. And like this one, a 10 by 2 is a standard size. It's just really tight going in there. So if you can find a 10 by 1.8, that's going to make your life easier. So then you stretch it evenly all the way around. Yep, and just slide that around. You can use a bit of engine oil as a lubricant. They don't pinch on the way in. I've selected nitrile O-rings. Nitrile is oil resistant. If you use plain rubber, then they will disintegrate after a certain time. Yeah, that goes in much easier than a 10 by 2. So we need to seal, you can see they've sealed that surface around there.
Loctite.
It looks like red Loctite, but it came out too easy. So we'll put a little bit of Teflon tape on here, and you want to wrap that on the direction the thread goes in. We've got this O-ring to form a seal. So do you want to put a Teflon on there? Make sure it's nice and clean on the inside there. Now we've left the actual spring tensioner in place. I'll leave a link to a video. It has a really nice cutaway of the whole engine showing that tensioner assembly. So a little bit of a twisting action as it goes in, just so that O-ring doesn't get pushed out of place. Putting the pipe part of it in on its own first. Once that's in, we'll release the tensioner. People often put a question there saying, well, how long will this job take? When I'm filming, it takes about 10 times longer. Once you've done this job yourself, it'd be great if you could leave a comment. How long did this actually take you without mucking around filming? Push it in slightly to take the tension off, then half a turn. There we go. It's tensioning the cam chain. There is a quicker, easier option, a plan B, try at your own risk, and that is simply to put a socket on here and remove the whole thing. Change just these two O-rings and put it back in again. The workshop manual says to remove the centerpiece and to lock the cam chain tensioner, and it says there's a hazard of the whole assembly shooting out if you don't do that. Look, when I've taken these out, there hasn't been any major spring tension on there, so I don't understand the logic for having to lock it before you remove all this. I haven't seen these leaking from this point here. Whatever this red sealant is seems to hold pretty well. The other risk there is if there's a whole lot of crap in here around that filter, you're going to be putting that crap back in there. On the flip side though, if you're leaving that plastic filter alone, there's no risk of you breaking it. Try at your own risk option. Certainly be a lot quicker just to remove that and change these two O-rings. Up to you. Leave a comment if you've tried that approach. Is there some other catastrophic consequence that we're missing? Up to you if you want to start it up and check for leaks before you reassemble. You only want to run it for a few seconds with that auxiliary belt off because you don't have a water pump. All right.
I don't see anything.
No, I don't see any leaks there at all. I think that's good. Should be at maximum oil pressure by now. First bracket going back on. Make sure you get the right bolt in the right hole. If you hit resistance before you're all the way in, you've got the wrong bolt. So next that steel bracket goes on. So the shorter bolt goes directly into the block, whereas the longer bolts go through the other alloy bracket.
It's tight.
Maybe we need to back these off. So with these a little bit loose, the ones around the corner can be done up by hand without any binding. Then you know you've got the right size bolt and the right size hole. Okay, we'll go around and torque these up. All of the 13 millimeters are 47.5 Newton meters, 23 Newton meters for the 10 millimeter. Power steering pump, that bolt slots into this bracket, and then we should be able to do these bolts up at the front.
One goes here, if
Right.
I'm correct.
Because that one's just bolting onto a steel strap. The longer ones are going through the thick alloy bracket. Bonus points if you can get these all started without dropping any. So again, these are torqued up to 50 Newton meters or 36 pound-feet. And the one on the back's going to be, I don't think you'll get the torque wrench on there, just do it with the spanner. Auxiliary belt back on next. You'll like my diagram. Do a drawing of yours before you take it off, and then you know how to put it back on. I'll leave a link to the workshop manual. So that fan assembly bolts at the top, at the bottom, it just goes into those slots there. One on each side and pulls out. This line is what you'll struggle with. Between the power steering line and this radiator hose is what you'll struggle with to get that fan assembly in and out. Fan assembly goes back in. it's hitting hard there.
I don't know how you did this yesterday. Isn't fun.
If you remove the engine first, then it'll just slide in.
Yeah.
It seems like a rock in a hard place on this side, doesn't it? Easy,
gosh.
Charlie. See? There's two long ones that hold the radiator in. I'll put those two brackets back on that support the radiator. Don't forget to plug your fans back in with that electrical connector.
Oh my god. How did one of these disappear?
Oh, that was me. I picked up a bolt because it's magnetized. It was magnetized to the end of it.
Oh well.
And I thought I'll find that later. We've got the intake pipe on. Hopefully we'll find that missing bolt. All right, the Falcon's all back together. No doubt there'll still be a few little leaks, but hopefully that is the worst one dealt to.